Good afternoon and welcome inside the Simply Financial Athletic Center. It's Falcons and Knights for the second leg of this Thumbs Down to Cancer doubleheader. Of course, the girls losing 3-0 to the hands of the Fanshawe Falcons. The Knights getting warm just as we speak. You can see on the back of Noah Tremblay has the Happy Gooder warm-up t-shirts, but both teams of the Knights are doing. There's a look at Jack Drummond on your screen. Currently tied for 8th in service aces and tied for 16th in service aces per set. The local second-year product from Thorold, Ontario. Wearing that number 3 Happy Gooder warm-up t-shirt. Of course, as I mentioned, the girls are wearing those as well. And on the flip side of things, Fanshawe sitting at a 7-2 record. They picked up the victory on October the 18th in a commanding 3-0 fashion. Fanshawe currently 7-2, tied for the top seed out west, tied with Cambrian and Niagara, currently in tied for 5th place with the Humber Hawks, who they faced on November the 15th, where they picked up the loss. There's a look at RJ Martin, who's tied for 8th in blocks in the OCAA and 14th in blocks per set. Niagara, their defense has been good, but their offense at times has struggled, MJ.
Yeah, I think much like for the girls, it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle for the Knights today, but ideally they'll pull through.
Fanshawe nearly winning 2 sets for as many as they've lost. Have won 21 and lost 11. NC has won 16 sets and lost 4. NC lost their first 2 games of the season. Since then, they're 5-1. They lost, of course, to Fanshawe. They lost their first game. Since then, 5-2, where they beat Sheridan on the road. And they lost to Humber 3-0. And of course, against St. Clair, 3-1. We'll send it down courtside for the playing of our national anthem. Fanshawe getting their starting lineups introduced. And House. The visitors here making their only appearance at the Simply Financial Athletic Center, at least for the regular season. And now NC set to be introduced, of course, led by Steve Stone, the unofficial PA announcer of the Niagara College Knights. I said it in the girls game. I talked to him over the span of this week when we were working on the story for Abby. And he had said his dream job, of course, outside of being the head coach at NC, is to be a PA announcer, and certainly has the talent to do so if he wanted to. But of course, one of the best coaches here in the OCAA, the men's division. I think he's got an argument to be in the conversation for Coach of the Year. I mean, this roster is essentially brand new from last year, and this team's 5-3. And most experienced player being Noah Tremblay, Sam Pinn, Riley Orr, 2 seasons. Everyone else is new. As there's a look at Noah Tremblay, fired up and ready to get going.
And of course, it wouldn't be a Knights home game with the smell of fries wafting into the announcing booth at the beginning of a game.
Yeah, hopefully there's some left for us. We'll say that does sound really good right now. And what else sounds really good is the Knights starting off their 2026 campaign against the Fanshawe Falcons at home as they look to avenge the girls in the first matchup and avenge their first loss of the season. And right off the jump, it's Silas Carr who gets the first kill of the afternoon. And there's a look at Jacob Goldsmith, who's going to serve here. Pin, Stifter, setting up for Martin. Didn't get a ton on it, but nonetheless, he got the kill. And now Jack Drummond, tied for 8th in service aces, and tied for 16th in aces per set. I think has to be in the conversation at least to be an all-star.
Yeah, I think that also been a little commentator's jinx on your part right there.
I think you have more than I do, so.
I would not dispute. Also, it should be pointed out that this the men's team is the last chance for the Knights to not get goose egged for the 4 games over this weekend.
That's right. We had the girls basketball lose to Humber. And of course, a thriller last night, heartbreak by the Humber Hawks. Isaiah Brady Clark winning it at the buzzer. I know when it happened, we both kind of were in shock. I've been to countless sporting events, whether it's local or professional. I've never seen a buzzer beater like that. As Guzak gets the kill. But I mean, the fact Niagara was able to take them right to the brink, the Humber Hawks. Yeah, they were without Malik Grant, but they're still the best team in the association. And you had them right at the buzzer. Certainly a result you can be, or an effort I should say, you can be proud of as Martin sends it into the netting.
Bodes well for the Knights. If they can just maybe tighten up by about 25%, they'll be a tough team in the playoffs.
Tremblay digs this one out. Stifter over for Pinn, who chips it over. And it'll be recycled now the other way with Gibson. Stifter, Pinn, off the fingertips And NC has it now within one. It'll be Tayton here to serve the local product. First year from Welland, Ontario. A lot of local guys here on this NC squad, including Tayton, of course. Shot right at the hands of Tremblay. Not much you can do about that. It'll be Gibson here to serve. Tremblay digs this one out. Guzak over for Pin. Pin off the fingertips. Pardon me, off the top of the netting. Looked like from here it may have been off of the fingertips, at least from this vantage point of Goldsmith. But nonetheless, Fanshawe quickly doubling up NC. Stifter over for Pin, off the hands of Hutchinson. They've been going out, at least close to it. Regardless, NC able to get back within this one. It'll be Sam here to serve. Here's Crowther here to serve. Tremblay, Stifter, up for Riley Orr. A great dig out of Jaden Crowther. Stifter back up here for Guzak. He gets rejected, and it's back up Tremblay. Over for Drummond on that left side, and it'll get down in favor of NC.
Knights digging deep on that set.
Here's Riley Orr, you can see on his left wrist, has a brace. As he'll send it into the netting.
Knights so far, I believe, have had 3 service errors.
You saw in the girls' game, there was some service errors, which helped Fanshawe win that one. I mean, they utterly dominated Niagara, but of course, you take care of the ball, you're gonna have a chance to win. Stifter, Drummond chips it forward and out. As Fanshawe back up to a 3-point advantage. Stifter, Drummond, off the hands, and back up, rejected by Riley Orr. But it'll go for Fanshawe. And MJ, these two teams don't make a lot of mistakes. Niagara 4th in terms of errors, and Fanshawe 5th. Niagara 105, Fanshawe 107 respectively. Both of these teams can handle the ball. It's go back to the Mohawk game. A team that is not good defensively, as it's up for Pin, as he gets rejected at the line by Silas Carr. But I made the point, it's like the analogy in baseball. You put the ball in play, things are gonna happen. You put pressure on this defense, you'll make mistakes. But both of these two teams here today have very good defenses and can handle themselves.
Good awareness right there as well. Knight's doing a great job of not letting things get too far out of hand for him.
Fanshawe currently 4th in the OCAA in terms of service aces per set.
I'd like to take a moment to point out something you pointed out to me earlier on. Fanshawe with the interesting collared shirt.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Maybe they want to also play some golf after the game. Who knows?
Drummond, Stifter, up for pin on the left side. As we'll get a whistle. And it'll go in favor of NC. Stifter over the netting and played there by Pittick. It's thrown down right in front of Tremblay.
Fanshawe bench reacting very enthusiastic. One might even say it was a jack attack.
I'm going to have to start using that line. And Penn gets the ace, NC within 2. And Penn just misses the outside. Or the inside, I should say. As NC back to being down by 3. Guzak. And it's played over. Drummond gets his hands on it. And it'll just stay in for an NC point.
Speaking of Sam, just want to give a shout out to the Guzaks. Listen to us all the way from Beaumont, Alberta.
Sam in his first year here at NC. NC will get rewarded with the point as Fanshawe touched the netting. But you mentioned it in the girls' game. A lot of players from out west or even out of provinces. Riley just misses that one. Of course, Sam Guzak and Ben Filion from Glenboro, Manitoba. I don't know if you'd call that out west, but it's west.
Central Canada? We'll say Central Canada.
Well, it's west of Ontario.
It's a long drive from here.
Rejected at the line by Jack Drummond. He's fired up about that. A jack attack, as my friend MJ just said. You should charge royalty for that. Well, I don't.
Gonna have to copyright that one.
I don't think that's been the first time jack attack has ever been said before.
Well, it doesn't mean I can't copyright it.
Guzak just outside of the black line as Fanshawe restores their multi-point lead.
Much like in the previous game's first set, every time the Knights take a step forward, they seem to take a step back.
Stifter up for Guzak, too strong. And to your point, another step back for NC. Both teams still with 2 timeouts left in their back pocket. Coach Stone as well as Patrick Johnston. Drummond over for Guzak, off the hands of Curtis. Gibson strikes it, and it's off the hands of Knight, off the deflection, And Fanshawe up here by 4. I have to think maybe a timeout might be in the cards for Coach Stone. Picked up a yellow card in that women's game. Curtis chips it forward, dug out by Tremblay. Pin off the hands of Curtis. And NC has it back to 3. And now Jack looking for the Jack attack.
Looking to make a strike. And coming back to Coach Stone for a second, as we've established this season, willing to let things ride.
Jack with a good serve off the top of the netting. Guzak, Tremblay up for pin, and it's spiked off the hands of Goldsmith. Stifter up for Martin, but too strong on that one as Fanshawe restores their 4-point advantage.
That's got to really dial down the strength on some of the returns.
It's a fine line because you risk having it go out of play, but if you have a soft return, it's much more easier to handle for the defense. Stifter looking for Guzak, pin. Stifter up for Drummond, paints the line, cooking up some barbecue with that one. As Riley will come back into this one. That one too strong, and NC all of a sudden has it within 2. And this first set, important for them to get their first, to win the first set.
Looking to maybe go 2 steps forward and no steps back.
Great dig by Martin, but too strong with it. And into the game comes Tanner Pattinson, who's currently 15th in the OCAA in kills per set at 3.03. It'll be Hutchison to serve. Stifter able to get it over. Riley Orr, his hands on that one. Tremblay. It'll have to be a free ball from Pin. And nobody home for Fanshawe as Niagara will pick up the point.
Fanshawe asleep at the wheel on that one.
Stifter sends that one into the netting. You'd have to think potentially a timeout will come soon for Coach Stone. Of course, a chance potentially to ice a server on Fanshawe. Stifter will leave it back for Pin as we'll get a whistle. The point will go to Fanshawe. And Coach Stone will have to use his first of 2 timeouts. And Fanshawe 3 points away from winning the first set of the afternoon.
Nice not going away though.
Certainly more competitive than what we saw in the boys game, or sorry, the girls game. NC had it down to as many as 1. And of course, now down by 4. As we'll take a look. at this emphatic attack from RJ Martin, too strong.
One thing to point out, on a little bit of a sillier note, far less traveler mugs for the men's teams than we saw during the girls' game.
Do you own a travel mug?
I do not currently own a travel mug.
I don't think I have one.
I guess I missed out for Christmas.
That'll be on your Christmas list this year. The Knights had a win on today on their Christmas wish list. We'll see if they can get it done. Tremblay up for pin, but it's off the antenna. As one of the players colliding with the official, having to adjust the stand, I should say, as it'll be Gibson on to serve the second year out of Richmond Hill. Stifter up for Riley Orr, off the hands and kept alive somehow. It'll be a free ball pin. Stifter up for Riley Orr. It won't make its way over. Drummond, Stifter, pin. And NC staying alive as they have it within 4 and a chance to serve with Sam Pin. Gibson in the vicinity, and it's off the fingertips of a Knight, and it's set point for Fanshawe. Steve Stone not electing to use a timeout.
Knights on the brink.
Stifter up for Guzak, gets rejected at the line. Stifter yet again over for Riley Orr, and NC staying alive, and it'll be Riley here to serve, the second year out of Welland. Guzak got his hands on it, as it will be Fanshawe point, and they'll win the first set. Niagara still yet to win a set. If you go back to the girls' game and this one, Niagara had their chances, but they just kind of fell asleep at the wheel at times, losing that one by 5.
Yeah, and you take away the service there, that maybe would have been a 1-point difference right there.
You have to take care of the ball if you're going to want to win. And Niagara, in terms of on the service error perspective of things, about middle of the pack in terms of service errors at 120. Here's a look at Tayton Stifter, the starting setter for the Knights here this season. And in terms of aces, Niagara, again, middle of the pack with 42. Fanshawe with 62 service aces, which is 5th in the association. It almost feels like if we're staying at the pace we had in this one, whoever can take care of the ball the best is going to win this game.
That's exactly right. Also, an interesting trend for the Knights at home, it's really been feast or famine. I think all the home games have been largely 3-0 sets in either direction.
First home game here of the season, or of the calendar year, I should say, for the Knights. The first time since November the 26th against Mohawk, where they won 3-1. But MJ, yes, you're right. It's been 3-0 or 3-1 here at home, whether if it's for NC or just for their opponent. NC currently 3-1 at home and 2-2 on the road. But if they want to make a push in the postseason, which I think this group believes they can do, they're going to have to tighten things up here today. And this one against one of the best against Fanshawe, because if you want to potentially go win a medal, you're going to have to go through Fanshawe.
Yeah, this is a real good opportunity to tune up moving forward.
Of course, tune up and try and make a push for a top 4 seed in the Western Conference. I always get that mixed up. I shouldn't. But Niagara currently tied with Humber, and Humber has the tiebreaker for now, of course, because of that game on the 15th where Humber came in here and won 3-0. There's Jack Drummond in discussion with the official. So give some teammates some daps before the start of this second set. NC still looking for their first set win of the day. You go back to the girls' game. And Fanshawe looking to keep it that way with Jacob Curtis here to serve, the product out of Hamilton. Drummond gets rejected at the line by Jacob Goldsmith, and NC falling behind again early.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe they led it all in the first set.
RJ, he gets a response the second year out of St. Mary's. NC will get rewarded to the point, and NC takes the lead here for the first time this set.
Looking to make this a ball game.
Good serve from Jack Drummond as it spiked down by Silas Carr. And NC probably wish they could have had that one back on the defensive standpoint of things.
One thing to note about Fanshawe, not only is their bench enthusiastic, it's also, I think, 2 to 3 times the size of the Niagara bench.
Niagara only with 5 reserves. For Coach Stone, and about 7 or 8 for Fanshawe. Steve Stone usually keeps a tight rotation, so we'll see how that plays out as Fanshawe now doubling up Niagara in the early goings.
Niagara still struggling to find the delicate balance between wanting to drop a hammer and thread the needle.
Well, Jack threw the hammer there, the jack attack.
Jack attack also threading the needle on that one.
Gibson up at the line as it's too strong. And NC now knotted up at 4s. Curtis. As it's sent up at the line, and Fanshawe back on top.
That ball almost fielded by an unsuspecting toddler.
Carr sends it into the netting. He returns the favor. Curtis up at the line and off of Tate and Stifter, thrown down by Crowther, Hutchison.
I think he took that one off the shoulder.
Pin. Stifter back for pin off the hands of Hutchison. As we're knotted up here at 6.
That one going straight into the stands.
Curtis up at the line as a whistle was blown. And they'll go for NC.
Unclear where that point came from.
I don't know if that was an inadvertent whistle, but
yeah, there was definitely a whistle maybe 5 seconds prior.
Tremblay, Stifter, up for Drummond, off the hands of Hutchison, back over for Curtis. Gets rejected by Riley Orr. Curtis over at the line for Gibson. And Riley Orr nearly got it over as we knotted up a touchdown apiece. Pin with a good dig. It'll make its way back over as it's played up by Curtis. Tremblay gets it and nearly sends it over as it's rejected. As I believe it's going to go to NC, and Coach Johnston does not like the call. It'll be Riley Orr to come back into this game. And NC now back on top, 9-8.
Niagara starting to find a little bit of momentum.
Orr, Gibson, Pin. Luzak's gonna have to send it over. Hutchison for Curtis. Played at the line, Hutchison, dug out by Stifter. Pittock, chipped over, dug out by Pin. Up for Guzak, getting the hands on it was Hutchison, a great rally. Curtis, back over for Hutchison. Pin for Guzak, off the hands, and able to recover are the Falcons. And NC's going to get a point as Fanshawe touched the netting, and NC up by multiple points here in this first set.
First time in the game, I believe. Niagara looking to open up a bit of a lead here.
Bit of a delay, but Riley Orr set to serve. Curtis up for Goldsmith. And Fanshawe cuts that lead in half. Stifter. He'll give it up for Guzak on the right side as it's dug out and out of bounds by Hutchison. NC responding, restoring that 2-point advantage. Curtis. They'll give it up for Carr as these two teams play hot potato. Stifter up for Guzak off of the hands of Gibson. Tremblay. Stifter for Martin. Curtis recycling over on that left side. Stifter over for Drummond off the hands of Hutchison. And Jack with the Jack attack.
It's back.
It'll have to be a free ball for Fanshawe. And it will go for NC.
I think Pin was out of bounds on that one.
Goldsmith here to serve. And it's up for Guzak as it's into the netting, and we're all knotted up here at a dozen apiece. Martin sends it over, but it's out of bounds as Fanshawe will retake the 1-point advantage.
Both teams very evenly matched at the moment.
Fanshawe 7-2 in the standings as Fanshawe gets a multi-point advantage for the first time in a little bit, but Niagara 5-3 in the standings. Fanshawe with an extra game played. It's Goldsmith to serve. Stifter up for Penn, perfectly placed.
Nice little drop shot right there.
A little blooper, almost like a blooper in baseball when it gets between the shortstop and the center fielder. Curtis up for Hutchison, off the hands and out of Curtis. And these two teams haven't decided who wants to take the lead as we're knotted up still here at 14. I believe we have an issue with the scoreboard. For a moment, a point was taken off from NC, I believe, as it's been put back now. It's going to be Jason McPhee from Barrie here to serve. Tremblay. Pin off the hands of McPhee, fresh into the game. Gibson. Pin. allow NC to get the point. And it's McPhee serving yet again. Great dig by Sam Penn. Riley with the attack. Out of the reach of Sam Penn and Steve Stone. Thought for a moment he was going to call a timeout, just having words with one of the Knights, the fourth-year coach for NC, at least for the men's program. That one just out. And Steve will actually now use the timeout as his team's down by 4 in this second set.
A smart timeout on Coach Stone's part. Knights are still in this set.
You're right, certainly not out of it. But of course, NC going to have to go on a little bit of a run if they want to pick up the victory. And there's a look at the bench, including Cam Moss-Nutt and the lineup here today.
As we mentioned earlier, Knights needing to find that balance.
You can see on the screen the shirt on Cam Moss, the Abby Gooder warm-up shirt. As I'm going to look at it, replay, both men and women wore it during warm-ups here today. And I believe, I'm not 100% certain, I believe some teams across the OCAA may be starting to get their own of that shirt.
Yeah, we saw earlier that the women's Fanshawe team had some pink jerseys.
Pink t-shirts during warm-ups as it's sent over by Tremblay. It's sent, and too much on it from Crowther. And out of the timeout, NC able to strike first.
Both coaches electing to play pretty tight rotations as well.
Stifter here to serve off the hands of Piddick. And unable to make its way back in, and NC quickly within 2.
That one's barely clearing the net on the serve.
And it's up on that side for Gibson. Tremblay able to keep it alive. It'll be a free ball sent by Orr. Up at the line off the hands of Stifter. And too strong by Hutchison. And NC with a chance now to tie it at 18. Fanshawe, we're all knotted up here at 18 here in this second set.
I think Curtis might have gotten a little bit ahead of himself on that one.
Not something you usually see out of this Fanshawe defense. And that's what you usually see out of the NC defense by Noah Tremblay. As Fanshawe will pick up the advantage yet again. As Tanner Patterson will return into this game for the Falcons. Hutchison serving pin up for Orr. Piddick. Gibson with the attack. Stifter. He'll set up Drummond. And he'll get the deflection as we're knotted up here at 19 in this second set.
Neither team given an inch.
The biggest lead we've seen in this one so far was Fanshawe. When they were up by 4, they had at least in this set, they were up 18-14. NC as Tyler since that point as it's delivered right in front of Tremblay. Nothing. Noah could have done about that one. As Guzak plays it off the hands, somehow kept alive. Drummond plays it off the hands of Piddick. Coaches invading the area. On the diving attempt, one of the chairs actually fell over on that Fanshawe sideline. As we'll see Jake Lee make his first appearance of the day.
Fanshawe bench had to scramble to get out of the way on that one. Yeah, there they go. Incoming.
We'll see. Oh, we didn't see the chair fall over. Now here's Jake here to serve, and it's played up by Goldsmith. Drummond got his hands on it, and it's played up and rejected at the line by R.J. Martin saying no, no, no.
Dikembe Mutombo-esque.
I knew you'd get that reference. That's part of the reason why I said it, to be honest.
Glad to be of service.
And Jake will have another serve at this one. Piddick. Off the hands of Stifter. And up now for Drummond, who will send it over. It'll be played up by Goldsmith. Stifter back for Guzak as it's off a body, and we're knotted up here at 21. A great set that we've had here in this second one. Still a timeout remaining for Steve Stone and 2 in the back pocket of Patrick Johnston. The 13.
I have a suspicion that this set might end beyond the number 25.
I mean, these two teams haven't been able to really break apart, but a good job from Jake Lee coming in to spot serve. And it's Guzak on the attack, played there by Gibson, nearly in front of us, and kept in play by Patterson. Up for Jack, who gets rejected by Silas Carr. It'll be Jaden Crowther on to serve, dug out by Pin. Guzak up for Drummond off the hands of Smith, Patterson, and NC will tie this one up at 22. Penn with a great serve. It's set up by Smith. And Fanshawe retakes the lead. Dug out by Tremblay, a great effort to keep this one alive. Guzak with the attack. And it's Smith up and fumbled by Goldsmith. We've seen that a couple times where Fanshawe has mishandled it. And Jacob Curtis will come into the game, who's had himself a nice season, second in assists and fourth in assists per set. And another player having a good season himself, Jack Drummond, tied for 8th in service aces, trying to get another one here for his NC Knights in this second set. And that's going to go in favor of the Falcons, as they'll have the set point advantage. And interesting, Steve Stone won't use his final timeout. And it's played with Drummond chipping it over, and a great effort to keep that one alive as it's back over off the hands of Drummond. And it'll be a 2-0 set advantage for the Fanshawe Falcons as we play in this third and final set. I'm a little bit surprised that Coach Stone didn't use that last time out. Nothing much Jack could have done about that one, but NC now behind the 8 ball, 2-0, and Niagara College in total in serious jeopardy, getting swept throughout the day, or throughout the weekend, I should say, and getting swept in this game, here 3-0.
Tough day so far for the Knights. They gave it their all in that set too.
And NC, I mean, you're absolutely right. They gave them everything they had. And this game,
coming back to that replay we saw just a moment ago of the Fanshawe dive in the stands, reminiscent of late era Shaq.
you got that Unk ball knowledge. I said it yesterday and I'll say it again.
I will deliver some deep cuts.
And now NC gonna have to rally. And if they want to come back in this one, a good effort in that second set. But of course, Niagara hasn't won a set against Fanshawe all season. You go back to that first game where they got swept 3-0. And there's Steve giving some instructions.
Ominously, the break music playing in the stadium is Hell's Bells by AC/DC.
I mean, when you're down behind 2-0, there's not much better you can play to try and rally the troops and rally the crowd. Got a great turnout here today, of course. Thumbs down to Cancer Weekend, of course, in honor of Abby Gooder. One of the best players we've had at NC, the women's volleyball program.
Knights visibly a little disheartened after the last set.
You can't hang your head on with an effort that you put in that set. But of course, NC gonna have to rally if they want to win this one. Down 2-0. Fanshawe in the driver's seat as they look to move to 8-2 on the start of their season. They're in a tie with Cambrian as of right now, who isn't playing this weekend. They'll see NC next week on the road. It's up at the line off the hands of Stifter. And Fanshawe able to strike first for the third set in a row. NC hasn't been able to play from in front very much in this one, and when they have, it's been by 1, 2, maybe even 3 points. Good setup from Tayton Stifter for Riley Orr right in his wheelhouse, and I mean, when he gets a pass like that, that's what's going to happen.
Good quick reply by the Knights.
Off the hands of Tremblay, and Stifter wanted to go after it, but it was out of his reach.
Much like with the women's game, if this set starts to get away from the Knights, Coach Stone will have to decide whether or not he wants to get his bench some time on the floor.
Knights with 5 players available on the bench coming into action today. Ryder Beauregard, Britton Burrows, Ben Fillion, Jake Lee, and just those 4 available off the bench. No Cam Moss in the lineup here today. Of course, Niagara certainly undermanned in terms of comparison against Fanshawe, where they've got probably double the bench size of NC. Granted, one of their guys is injured. It'll be Colin Hutchison on here to serve. Off the hands of Penn, played up and over by Drummond. It'll be Hutchison here to serve yet again. Tremblay, Stifter, up for Drummond, off the hands and kept up by Gibson. Back for Gibson, rejected by Guzak, but out of play. And Fanshawe quickly up by 3 here.
Fanshawe definitely full of passion.
Martin is getting there at the line. Unable to get it over the netting. Sam Guzak will serve, should be in the mix for the all-rookie team this season as he sends it into the netting.
Goose has had a bit of a rough day trying to find that sweet spot of not too hard and not too soft.
Pin, Stifter, back for Guzak, and too strong on that one. As Fanshawe has their biggest set lead, point lead in this set, up here by 4. Football-esque score. Dug out by Penn. Stifter able to get to it, and Guzak able to send it over. Tremblay digs it out, and it'll make its way over. It'll be sent back up and rejected at the line by Jack Drummond.
A little bit of stuffage there.
That's not even Thanksgiving. Good dig to keep that one alive. May have been going out. Guzak will set it up for Stifter. Over for Penn, who'll flip it over. And what a dig to keep that one alive by Hutchison. Stifter Back up for RJ Martin and played up by Gibson. Guzak will have to make its way over from Pin as he gets rejected. And Fanshawe now doubling up the Knights. Here's Jaden Crowder. Over for Payne, just out. They'll say it was deflected, so NC will pick up the point. And here comes Riley Organ to the game here to serve. And it's played and shot into the netting, and NC has it now within 2. Played up and deflected out off of, I believe, Riley Orr. Fanshawe back ahead here by 3. Stifter serves, played out by Piddick. Up on the right side and played by Tremblay. Stifter over for Drummond and just out. Jack overcooked that attack. Pin, Stifter, back for Pin, right in front of Jacob Goldsmith. As these two teams remain to keep it close. Right off the hands of Tremblay. It was absolutely smoked towards the second-year product out of Hamilton. Stifter setting up Guzak. He gets rejected by Tyler Gibson. And NC up here by 4 in this third set. Stifter setting up Drummond as he looks to chip it forward. And it's recovered by the Falcons. Tremblay, Stifter for Drummond, and kept alive by Curtis. Bit of confusion by Fanshawe, but we're able to keep it alive. Stifter up for Drummond, can't get it over, and NC able to keep it alive. Drummond off the hands of Jacob Curtis.
Niagara sticking with it during that rally. Paying off for him.
Orr serves off the top of the netting, and that's an ace. He's struggled at the line here today in terms of serving. Has had a couple of service errors, has the second year from Welland.
Knights have had, I would say, a tough day in general from a service error perspective.
The southpaw. Hutchison with the serve. Stifter. Back up for Martin off the hands of Curtis. Rejected by Gruzak. A diving effort as Tremblay's incensed. He thought it was 4 touches. And I think Steve Stone is in agreement with him. Hutchison serving Tremblay, up for Drummond, and that one out of bounds. And Fanshawe up here by 6. Ryder Beauregard wanted the deflection. As I think he was flexing there. I think he knew he was on camera. As it's played by Tremblay. And Fanshawe back up here by 7. And that's going to cause Steve Stone to call a timeout as his team in serious jeopardy of getting swept here this afternoon, and Niagara College athletics in a whole getting swept.
Both Fanshawe teams bringing the heat today.
New year and a new, I guess, same Fanshawe Falcons team that we saw throughout the first half, as they had a 7-2 record and swept NC earlier this year. And firmly in the driver's seat as they look to get to an 8-2 record. And there's a look at Noah Tremblay in discussion. He was frustrated a few moments ago. He thought there should have been 4 touches called and didn't get it. Tremblay usually calm and soft-spoken. Don't usually see him get upset like that. It'll be Hutchison here to serve as Fanshawe looks to get their advantage up to 8 points. Way too strong as Niagara has it in 6.
Coming in for Fanshawe number 7, Andrew Smith.
Uzak serves, dugout by Goldsmith. Uzak just out of his reach, and Fanshawe back up by 7. Off the hands of Tromba, that's going to go down for an ace. It's Tyler Gibson, and NC now behind by 8. We'll have to see if Steve will use his final timeout. And the Knights looking like a completely different team than what we saw in that second set. Hit off the hands. A good strike right at Andrew Smith, the local product from London. And it's interesting, MJ, you look at the Fanshawe roster sheet, as that one's into the netting, Jack Drummond. Ty Klassen is listed from Niagara, Ontario. That's pretty general.
Yeah. Somebody didn't want to do the research to find out where Eden is, apparently. For listeners at home, it's in St. Catharines.
I've never, I mean, granted, we see the Niagara roster sheet every game, but I've never seen just Niagara, Ontario before. That's bizarre.
Oh!
Pin was looking for the deflection. He'll get it off the hands. And it will be adjusted by the officials to Fanshawe. Looked like, from at least my vantage point, it looked like it was off hands, but as we wait for the scoreboard to be fixed, we'll take a look. As we're ready here to go, it'll be Jaden Crowther. Dug out by Drummond, sent back over. It'll have to be played up. And miscommunication between Drummond and Guzak. As Fanshawe nearly doubling up NC, 4 points away from victory number 8 on the campaign. Stifter over for Pin as he'll get it down, pinpoint accuracy.
Knight's not going away.
They've got 3 points to play with this set. As a good look from our broadcast crew on that last play. It'll be Jake Lee back into the game, who had a couple good moments here to serve.
Just want to take a brief moment to thank the broadcast crew, because without all their hard work, we would not be able to broadcast live to you guys at home.
As that one out of play, and NC now within 7 points. It'll be played just too far out. And now Jake, who was into the game to spot serve. Off the hands. Goldsmith and right, and Jack Drummond. And RJ Martin will come back in for Jake. As Fanshawe now 3 points away from winning their 8th game of the season and sweeping the season series and the season set series at that, as they won the first game 3-0. Stifter. Over for Pin, gets rejected at the line. Stifter back up for Drummond as it's into the netting. Now NC has 2 points to play with. As it's shot just out of the back. And NC has it now within 5. As we get a substitution for Patrick Johnston. Piddick over and off the hands of Riley Orr. It's played right in front of Noah Tremblay. NC now with 1 point to play with. We'll see if Steve Stone uses his final timeout. Has been fairly conservative with them in this Second set off the hands of Penn. Couldn't quite handle it. It'll be over with Sam Guzak. Couple of bodies at the line for NC. And it's off of the hands of Penn. A good rally here. Stifter over for Penn. It'll be played up by Curtis. And for Gibson, right into the hands of Jack Drummond. And Fanshawe now 1 point away from sweeping this afternoon's doubleheader. And that's going to do it. A picture-perfect strike from Jacob Goldsmith as they pick up this sweep. And a tough defeat for NC.
Tough weekend for the Knights in general.
Absolutely some heartbreak. And of course, going back to yesterday with a walk-off layup from Humbert, as Niagara will now fall to 5-1, as we'll take a look at one of the closing points that led to the victory for Fanshawe. As
really the story of the whole day, Fanshawe just being consistent.
As they have been all season long. As we'll look at this rally and attack by Sam Penn. And just out of the reach of Jack Drummond, but that's a wrap here on this Thumbs Down to Cancer weekend. My name's Alex Vandenhack. Thank you for joining us here this weekend. Join alongside me, MJ Graham. The Knights get swept in this tough effort, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks when NC is back at home on Wednesday the 28th against Redeemer.